What's up, everybody? I wanted to come to you guys tonight with my AEW Collision review. I thought Collision tonight was the better show than AEW. I thought AEW Collision was a better show of the two. I liked AEW Collision tonight. I really did like the show. I enjoyed Collision tonight. I thought AEW Collision was the better show. I really truly did. I thought AEW Collision was the better show of the two. I thought Collision put on the better show than AEW did tonight. I thought AEW Collision put on a way better show than AEW did tonight, and that's just my opinion. I thought AEW Collision put on a better show than AEW did tonight. So let's talk about the things I did like about AEW Collision tonight. Let's talk about the 2-on-2 women's tag team match to start AEW Collision, which was Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir versus Tay Mello and Anna Jay to start off AEW Collision tonight. This was a really, really good match tonight to start off AEW Collision. I thought this was probably the best match of the night, in my opinion, with Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir versus Tay Mello and Anna Jay to start off AEW Collision. I thought this was a really, really fun 2-on-2 women's tag team match tonight to start off AEW Collision. This was the best match of the night, in my opinion, to start off AEW Collision. This was the best match of the night. This match was really, really fun. I enjoyed it. This match was fun to watch. It kept my attention. I really did enjoy this match with Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir versus Tay Mello and Anna Jay to start off AEW Collision tonight. I thought this was the best match of the night, in my opinion. I thought this match was really, really fun. I enjoyed it. Great wrestling in this tag team match with Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir versus Tay Mello and Anna Jay to start off AEW Collision. This was the best match of the night, in my opinion, and Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir ended up picking up the win over Tay Mello and Anna Jay tonight in the best match of the night and on to start off AEW Collision tonight. This was a really, really fun match with Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir versus Tay Mello and Anna Jay. This was the best match of the night, and Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir ended up picking up the win over Tay Mello and Anna Jay in the best match of the night to start off AEW Collision tonight. And then we had a backstage segment with FTR. FTR is on Collision. I don't really watch Collision all that much, but we had a backstage segment with FTR tonight on AEW Collision. And then we had a backstage segment with the Bang Bang Gang tonight on AEW Collision. We had a backstage segment with the Bang Bang Gang. Like I said, guys, I don't watch AEW Collision, so you guys will have to forgive me on that. But we did have a backstage segment with the Bang Bang Gang tonight on AEW Collision. And then we have Mascara Dorada versus Okada. This was a one-on-one men's match tonight on AEW Collision versus Mascara Dorada versus Okada tonight on AEW Collision. This was a pretty fun one-on-one men's match with Mascara Dorada versus Okada tonight in a one-on-one men's match on AEW Collision, and Okada ended up picking up the win over Mascara Dorada tonight on AEW Collision in a very decent one-on-one men's match tonight on AEW Collision. This was a decent match between Okada and Mascara Dorada, and and Okada ended up picking up the win over Mascara Dorada tonight on AEW Collision. And then we had a backstage segment with Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. They had a backstage segment tonight on AEW Collision. Their backstage segment tonight was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. This was a pretty fun backstage segment with Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa tonight on AEW Collision. And then we had a backstage segment with Chris Statlander. This was a pretty fun backstage segment with Chris Statlander tonight on AEW Collision. This was a pretty good backstage segment tonight on AEW Collision with Chris Statlander. And then we had the main event, which was Mercedes Moné versus Red Velvet for the ROH Women's Championship. This was the main event of AEW Collision tonight. This was a really good match between Mercedes Moné and Red Velvet tonight in the main event of AEW Collision for the ROH Women's Championship. This was a really good match. I enjoyed this match between Red Velvet and Mercedes Moné tonight in the main event of AEW Collision for the ROH Women's Championship. This was a very fun match. I enjoyed this match between these two women. They put on a great match tonight in the main event of AEW Collision tonight for the ROH Women's Championship between Mercedes Moné and Red Velvet. This was a really good main event. I enjoyed it. These two women put on a really good match. I thought this match was really fun. I enjoyed it. This was a really fun women's match tonight in the main event of AEW Collision between Mercedes Moné and Red Velvet tonight for the ROH Women's Championship in the main event of AEW Collision. And Mercedes ended up picking up the win over Red Velvet tonight in the main event of AEW Collision. And Mercedes Moné is now your new ROH Women's Champion. And after the match, Mercedes Moné ends up attacking Chris Statlander at ringside and putting her in the Money Maker, and she makes Chris Statlander tap out at ringside, and that is how AEW Collision would go off the air. So, if there are a few things I would refer to you guys to go back and watch tonight on AEW Collision, go back and watch the backstage segment with Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. Go back and watch the backstage segment with Chris Statlander tonight on AEW Collision. And go back and watch the backstage segment. Go back and watch the backstage segment tonight with Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa tonight on AEW Collision. And go back and watch the main event tonight between Mercedes Moné and Red Velvet tonight in the main event of AEW Collision for the ROH Women's Championship. That match was the main event of AEW Collision tonight was really fun, with the main event between Mercedes Moné and Red Velvet for the ROH Women's Championship. That was a really good women's match between Mercedes Moné and Red Velvet in the main event of AEW Collision tonight. Fun match, very entertaining. I enjoyed this match. And Mercedes Moné ended up picking up the win over Red Velvet tonight. And Mercedes Moné is your new ROH Women's Champion. And then Mercedes Moné ended up attacking Chris Statlander at ringside and putting her in the Monet Maker. And Chris Statlander would end up tapping out at ringside, while Mercedes Moné held up the ROH Women's Championship. And that's how that's how AEW Collision would go off the air. So yeah, guys, I really appreciate you guys watching this AEW Collision review. If you guys like this AEW Collision review, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I'm gonna give AEW Collision a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed the show tonight. I thought AEW Collision was a better show than AEW Dynamite tonight. I thought Collision was the better show than AEW Dynamite. Um, I thought Collision was the better show. I just did. There were things I liked about Collision tonight that I did not like about AEW Dynamite. I liked um, the things I liked about AEW Collision tonight. I liked the main event between Mercedes Moné and Red Velvet for the ROH champion for the ROH Women's Championship, and I liked the backstage segment with Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa, and I liked the backstage segment with Chris Statlander tonight on AEW Collision. And then we also had a backstage segment with the Sisters of Sin. They had a really, really awesome backstage segment tonight on AEW Collision, which I really, really did enjoy. I really enjoyed this backstage segment tonight from the Sisters of Sin. They really had a really awesome backstage segment tonight on AEW Collision. So overall, I'm going to give AEW Collision a 7 out of 10. I thought AEW Collision was a better show than AEW Dynamite. If you guys like this AEW Collision review, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell to all. That way you guys don't miss any uploads or live streams from me. I would really, really appreciate it. And like I said, I really appreciate all the love and support you guys have been showing me on my wrestling reviews, and I hope you guys are enjoying the wrestling reviews. I hope you guys are enjoying the wrestling reviews as much as I love bringing the wrestling reviews to you guys. But yeah, guys, I just think AEW Collision tonight was a better show than AEW Dynamite tonight. Like I said, I'm gonna give AEW Collision tonight a 7 out of 10. And I hope you guys enjoy watching this AEW Collision review. Hope you guys have a great night. Thank you guys for all the love and support you guys have shown me on my wrestling reviews. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And your boy is out, and I will see you guys back here tonight for the TNA review. And until then, you guys have a blessed night. Your boy is out. Peace.